Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty significant, into the World Economic and Finance Archives, WEFA. Basically, we want to see how it offers a kind of shortcut to understanding the legal nuts and bolts of global financial history.
Yeah, and what's really interesting right off the bat is its structure. WEFA isn't standalone. It's actually part of a much bigger project focused on, well, the stuff of finance tokens, old bond certificates, that kind of thing, the material culture.
Right, the NESM project.
Exactly. But WEFA's job is different. It goes beyond the physical objects.
Oh.
It's tasked with capturing the historical record of the system itself. It provides that comprehensive legal background that actually gives meaning and value to the artifacts.
So it's the context. Not collecting dusty ledgers, but collecting the actual laws. That seems to be the key thing here.
That's precisely it.
They're set up functionally almost like a global version of a national archives, but laser focused on one theme: sovereign financial governance. Documenting the state's financial decisions, legally speaking.
You've got it. And to trace that, you absolutely need what they call the documents of authority. They really zero in on primary legal instruments. Think foundational laws like acts of parliament or equivalent legislation from different countries.
The laws that actually create the institutions or, say, authorize the government to issue bonds in the first place.
Correct. That's the bedrock. Then, interestingly, they also collect proclamations.
Ah, okay. So these aren't lengthy acts passed over months.
No, not at all. These are the quick, official public announcements, often made, in a crisis. Think declaring a bank holiday by decree or a sudden change in currency rules captures that immediate executive financial action.
Real-time policy shifts. And beyond those big laws and sudden decrees.
Well, then you get the administrative layer. Specifically things like Gazettes, official government publications detailing banking rules, currency changes, bond issues, and very importantly, revenue tax records.
Why the tax records?
Because the acts might create the law, but the gazettes and tax records show how it was actually administered, how it was executed. All those crucial implementation details are in there.
Okay, so that focus acts, proclamations, gazettes, tax records, why that specific combination? What does that tell a researcher that maybe reading economist papers wouldn't?
It gets right to the heart of two critical things: sovereign credibility and state capacity. If you want to know if a government historically kept its promises or how strong its financial machinery actually was, you need the primary legal documents, the official guarantees.
That makes sense. It's the proof.
It's the proof. It lets you trace the formal evolution of financial systems, not just the theoretical debates about them.
Which really highlights the gap WEFA seems to be filling. You mentioned they're not like, say, the IMF archives.
Right. The IMF archives are more about internal operations, policy memos, correspondence, how the institution itself worked. WEFA isn't about institutional navel-gazing.
And it's also not like business school archives, right? Like Harvard Business School's collection.
Completely different focus. HBS archives are often about private company records, ledgers, the history of private capital. WEFA specifically looks at the regulator, the state, not the companies being regulated.
So not operational like the IMF, not private like HBS,
Yeah.
and not purely theoretical like a university's collection of economists' papers either.
Exactly. University collections are fantastic for intellectual history, tracking ideas, but WEFA picks up where the idea becomes codified law. It documents the official government action, the point where theory translates into enforceable rules. It's a very specific, very powerful filter.
And the real kicker you mentioned is putting WEFA together with the artifacts from NESM.
That's where the magic happens, really. You might have a beautiful old physical government bond certificate that's from NESM, but its full historical weight, its validation, comes when you see the specific act of parliament in WEFA that authorized its issuance, spelled out the terms, gave it that legal backing.
It connects the object to the underlying legal architecture.
Perfectly put.
So ultimately, by gathering and standardizing these specific legal documents from around the world, WEFA cuts through a lot of the usual research fragmentation. You don't have to hunt through dozens of national archives.
Right. It lowers those geographic and institutional barriers significantly. The idea is to support economic research for academics and analysts, really taking it to a new level of efficiency and comparative scope.
Allowing researchers to easily compare how different countries handled, say, banking regulation or sovereign debt at the same point in history using the actual legal source code.
Precisely.
Which leaves us with a thought for you, the listener. WEFA is built around preserving documents with enduring legal value. We scrutinize 18th century acts today to judge past governments. So thinking about our time, what current laws governing finance? Sure, but maybe also data, AI, crypto. What documents being created now do you think historians 100 years from now will pull up to judge our government's credibility and capacity? Something to ponder.